So we are going to start from marking out our pattern, and marking out the pattern from a thick leather because the upper we are going to be using is a bit light. So first of all, I'm going to mark out the patterns on a thick leather. So as we proceed, you're going to find out the reason why I am marking out the pattern on a thick leather instead of marking it out on our upper. The upper we are going to use is a mirror face, and the pen is not going to last on it. It is going to clean off. So instead, we are going to mark it out on this particular leather, which is actually going to be our landing. So this is our upper. So I cut out the same shape with the marked out area on the landing, that is the thick leather. So now I'm going to apply gum on both of them and then align them together. So right now I'm going to align the both of them together, and after doing that we are going to cut them into shape. So the reason I'm doing this from this side is because if I do it from the marked side, I'm going to clean off the markings. So now we're going to cut them into shape, and we are done doing that. The next thing is to use our die to dye the edges. You understand, I'm using a cotton board and my black dye, so it is very necessary and important for finishing purpose. So after dyeing the edges, we stitch around the pattern. So after that we move over to assembling. So you put this one from here and then draw it, and we have the full pattern. We do the same to this one too. Watch closely. So hope you are seeing what I'm doing. So I'm going to pass it this way. So you have to watch the facing, understand? You watch here, you see here is facing this side, so here is supposed to face this side, you see it? So take note of that. Now we are going to use our masking tape to hold this piece of patterns together so that we will last them properly while lasting. Understand? If you last them like this, you might not get a good result. So we have to use our masking tape to hold the two pieces together to its position. I have actually made a video on how to create this pattern, so be patient. At the end of this particular video, you are going to see it pop up on your screen. So if you have not watched it, you can just tap on it to watch on how to create this pattern. So as you are using your masking tape, make sure you set the pattern properly to its position before using the masking tape to hold it firmly at the center. So over to our sole, our insole. This is Mako 6mm and this is my insole raw file, and I'm using it to mark out the shape of the insole. So after doing that, we cut the insoles into shape, and after cutting the insoles into shape, we sand the edges to have a smooth edges. The reason to do this is to have a very neat folding. You can use your sandpaper to do that. So you gum your insoles to your leather, then cut off the excess leather and leave the smaller area to be folded. Then after doing that, you carefully fold your insole. After folding the insoles, cut off all the crease at the back of the folding. Now use your folded insole to mark out the shape on the sole you are going to use. In this project, I'm using Nora 4mm as my main sole. So mark out the shape on Nora 4mm and then apply your gum on the marked out area. Then use 2 nails to hold the insole to position, and then you start your welting. Remember, you have to also add gum or apply gum to your welt. And you see where I started my welting from. It is very important. So you have to carefully go around the insole with your welt. And once you have gotten to the other edge, remove the nails and remove the insole. Then cut slightly after the first edge of your welt, and then force it in. With that, you are going to have a tight joint. And with that, we are done with the welting. Cut off the excess Nora. And then attach your heels. After attaching your heels, you cut off the excess heel. After doing that, the next thing is to sand the edges of the sole, that is smooth the edges, and I have done that, so the soles are ready. So we move over to the next step, which is lasting the pattern. So we are done lasting the pattern. We have to remove the masking tape. Sorry, the tapes are proving stubborn, but still I'm going to remove them. It won't stop me from removing them. So you see our result. So that is it. Let's proceed. The next thing is to couple the footwear. Don't be careless while you are coupling your insole with your sole. You have to be very careful, pay very close attention, make sure there is no gap between your welt and your insole. It will affect your finishing if you don't pay close attention to that. So you have to pay attention, make sure that your insole is very close to your welt while coupling. Now, this is our raw file. We used it to get this. So simply mark out the full raw file and then minus 2.5 from the tip down here, then reduce the size by 0.3 inch by 0.3 inch, and you're going to have this raw file for your floor landing. Then use it to mark out on the leather you are going to use as your floor landing. So once you mark, you turn the raw file to get for the other side of the foot. Don't use one side to mark 2 times because it is going to give you a wrong result. So when you mark, you turn the raw file to mark for the other side of the foot. So after doing that, you cut them into shape. So now this is what we have arrived at. Let's proceed. Now apply your gum slightly on the center of your insole and then on the center of the floor landing, and then install them. While doing that is while applying your gum, be careful so that you don't spill gum all over your insole, which will make your work to be rough. So you see how I am holding the landing while I am installing them. So we are done, and this is the result. If you have any question, feel free to drop them in the comment section. And also don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon if you have not, so that you have and receive update once our next video drops. The video on how to create this pattern will pop up on your screen right now. Just click on it to watch, that is if you have not watched it. Have a nice day, and see you in my next video.